Why should I apologize for the monster I have become? Tell me, was it not your silence that built this rage? Was it not your betrayal that sharpened my teeth? Was it not your rejection that carved these claws? You watched me bleed, and then you mocked the mess. You laughed when I was down, and now you flinch because I stand tall. You call me cold now. But where were your warm hands when I was freezing in the dark? You call me ruthless now. But did you show me mercy when I begged for it? Remember, you turned your back. You fed the shadows. You let me rot in silence. And now that I've become something you can't control, you want me to feel guilty for surviving, for building armor where you left open wounds. Let me be clear, I didn't choose this path. I was forced into it, pushed, beaten, broken, until there was no more nice left to give. So tell me, why should I apologize for not dying quietly? You want the old me back, the soft, obedient, naive version, the one who waited for apologies that never came. He's dead. You buried him. This version of me, the monster you now fear, he was born from fire, built from every whispered insult, every fake smile, every slammed door. This monster doesn't beg. This monster doesn't break. This monster remembers. And he has a message for everyone who tried to bury him. You made me. You underestimated what pain could create. You thought silence would kill me, but it taught me to speak with thunder. Now I walk alone, but I walk tall. I don't need your approval. I don't crave your validation. I've outgrown the chains you once wrapped around my mind. I don't wear masks anymore. I don't shrink to fit your comfort. I've stopped pretending. This version of me is unapologetic. Because monsters are only monsters to those who fear the truth. And the truth is this. I'm not broken. I'm built. Stronger. Harder. Unforgiving. So no. I won't apologize for the monster I've become. Because that monster was born protecting a soul that no one else would. You know what cuts deeper than a knife? Being ignored, being overlooked, being treated like you never mattered. You remember it, don't you? That time they left you on red. That time they walked right past you like you were invisible. That time they promised they'd stay, but disappeared when things got hard. Rejection isn't loud, it's quiet. It creeps in slowly, like poison in your veins. At first, you think it's just in your head. You tell yourself they're busy. You give them the benefit of the doubt. You try harder. You reach out. You give more. But the silence, it grows louder. You start asking questions. Did I do something wrong? Am I not good enough? Why do they only love me when it's convenient? Hits you. You're not their priority. You never were. You were a placeholder, a backup plan, a comfort they ran to when they were broken, but abandoned once they healed. They didn't want you. They wanted what you gave them. Your energy, your kindness, your loyalty. And when they had their fill, they tossed you like yesterday's news. You felt that, didn't you? That sting in your chest, that weight pressing on your lungs. That moment when you realized the people you'd fight for wouldn't even flinch to watch you fall. That's the kind of pain that changes a person. It hardens the soft, It silences the open-hearted. Teaches you not to trust so easily. You used to be light. You used to believe in people. You used to think that if you gave love, it would come back. But now you know better. Rejection didn't just hurt you, it reshaped you. It made you question your worth. It turned your kindness into caution, your innocence into suspicion. But listen carefully. That pain didn't destroy you, it built you. Every time they turned their back, you learned to stand on your own. Every time they lied, you sharpened your truth. Every time they rejected you, they unknowingly forged something stronger. They thought they were breaking you, but they were refining you, like steel in fire, like diamonds under pressure, like wolves left to starve, forced to hunt alone. You see, rejection teaches you something the world never warns you about. That not everyone deserves access to you. That not everyone who smiles is genuine. That some people only show up when it benefits them, and vanish when you need them the most. And yes, it hurts. God, it hurts. But eventually, the pain becomes familiar. And then, it becomes fuel. You stop chasing. You stop explaining. You stop proving yourself to people who already made up their minds about you. Because something clicks. Their rejection isn't a reflection of your value. It's a reflection of their capacity. They couldn't love you because they never learned how to love themselves. They couldn't see your worth because they were blinded by their own insecurity. So you stopped begging. You stopped breaking your back for people who wouldn't lift a finger for you. And for that, they called you cold, arrogant, distant. But they never mentioned the part where they pushed you away, where they slammed the door first. Now they say, you've changed. And they're right. You have. You became someone who no longer tolerates being treated like an afterthought. Someone who's done shrinking to make others feel comfortable. Someone who's done apologizing for finally putting yourself first. That's not being heartless. That's survival. You know the worst part of rejection. It doesn't just steal your peace. It tries to steal your identity. It makes you feel unlovable. Unseen, forgettable. That's a lie. You were always enough. You just gave your light to people who preferred darkness. You offered loyalty to those addicted to chaos. You were never the problem. You were the lesson. So let them talk. Let them paint you as the villain. Let them whisper that you've become a monster. Because only you know the truth. That monster they see now. He was born from the ashes of everything they tried to bury. And now you carry the weight of rejection, not as a burden, but as a badge. Because you're still here, still breathing, still standing. And every scar, it's a reminder that you didn't break, you endured. Let that sink in. The weight they thought would crush you is now the muscle you flex when they doubt you. So next time someone asks why you've become this way, tell them the truth. I didn't want to become a monster, but you left me no choice. From the moment you took your first breath, they had a plan for you, not your plan, theirs. Be polite. Stay in line. Don't speak too loud. Don't dream too big. Don't ask too many questions. They handed you a script before you could even walk. And told you, this is who you're supposed to be. You followed it, didn't you? You tried to be the good one. The one who didn't make waves. The one who smiled through the pain. The one who never said no. Because deep down, you thought, if I just do everything right, maybe they'll love me. Maybe I'll finally be enough. But enough for who? For the parents who only noticed you when you failed. For the teachers who said, you'll never amount to anything. For the friends who only stayed when you were useful. You kept shrinking yourself to fit in their little boxes. You bit your tongue. You played nice. You wore the mask. But tell me, what did that ever get you? Did they reward your silence? Did they respect your sacrifice? Or did they just take more? The truth is, they never wanted the real you. They wanted the version of you that made them comfortable. The watered down, dimmed, obedient version. Because the real you, too raw, too loud, too honest, too powerful. And that scared them. So they called you too emotional, too intense, too much. As if being real was some kind of crime. But here's the thing. Society doesn't raise individuals. It raises copies. And the second you step out of line, they come for your throat. Because your courage, it exposes their fear, your strength. It makes them feel weak. Your freedom, it threatens everything they've built on control. They said, fit in or be cast out. Follow the rules or be labeled a rebel. Stay in your lane or be called a problem. But here's what they never told you. That every person who ever changed the world was once called a problem. You see, they want you tame, manageable, predictable. But you were never born to live in a cage. You were born with fire. You were born to challenge. You were born to break the damn mold. Maybe that's why they feared you from the beginning. Because deep down, they saw the storm in your eyes. They saw that you weren't made for obedience. You were made for war. But for a while, you forgot that. You got tired. Tired of being misunderstood. Tired of constantly explaining yourself. Tired of trying to please people who only noticed your mistakes. So you dimmed your light. You played small. You traded authenticity for acceptance. And what did it cost you? Peace. Joy. Your sense of self. You woke up one day and realized you didn't recognize the person in the mirror. You weren't living. You were performing. For parents. For bosses. For friends. For strangers. All while screaming on the inside, when is it my turn to be real? Well, here's your answer. Right now. Right now is the moment you tear up the script. Right now is the moment you stop apologizing for existing too loudly. Right now is the moment you remember who the hell you are. You are not here to live up to their expectations. You are not here to fit their fantasy. You are not here to be their puppet. You were not born to be liked. You were born to be free. And freedom, it comes with a cost. It means some people will walk away. Let them. It means some people will talk behind your back. Let them. It means some people will hate that you no longer bend to their comfort. Let them. Because the day you stop living for others is the day you start living for you. The day you stop chasing approval is the day you start reclaiming your power. You weren't meant to follow paths already paved. You were meant to build your own. So what if they call you a monster? So what if they say, you've changed? Good. Let them tremble when you speak your truth. Let them feel discomfort when you walk into a room fully you. Let them choke on the silence you no longer fill with apologies. You are not here to be understood by people who refuse to understand themselves. You are not here to break yourself into pieces just so others can feel whole. You are here to break the cycle, to burn the fake blueprint they forced on you, and to rise from the ashes, untamed, unapologetic, and unrecognizable. Because the version of you that society wanted, dead. The version that's rising now, a storm, a fire, a force that bows to no one. So if they ever ask, why don't you follow the rules anymore? You look them in the eye and say, because the rules were made to keep me small, and I'm done playing small. You weren't destroyed, you were reforged. There comes a moment when the pain doesn't break you anymore. It builds you. A moment when you stop asking, why me? And start saying, try me. That moment, that's the awakening. Not the kind they put in self-help books. Not the fake sunshine and roses kind. I'm talking about the real one. The violent kind. The one that's born from blood, betrayal, and buried screams. That moment when you stop begging for peace, and start preparing for war. Because you realize something they never wanted you to see. That everything you needed was already inside you, all along. You don't need saving, you need unleashing. They told you pain makes you weak, but that was a lie. Pain makes you dangerous. Pain makes you sharp. Pain teaches you how to survive when there's nothing left. And the world fears people who survive what should have killed them. You want to know what true strength is? It's not smiling through the storm, standing in the middle of hell, and laughing because they threw their worst at you, and you're still breathing. They called you a monster? Good. Let them. Because monsters don't beg for mercy. Monsters don't need permission. Monsters don't break. They evolve. You ever see steel being made? It doesn't happen gently. It happens in fire. It happens with pressure. It happens when everything soft is burned away. Until what's left is unbreakable. That's you. You are steel now. No longer fragile. No longer soft for the wrong people. No longer apologizing for the heat that forged you. And maybe they don't like that. Maybe they miss the version of you that was easy to manipulate, easy to use, easy to dismiss. But that version of you is dead. And this new version, it's something else entirely. A warrior, a weapon, a storm in human skin. You don't walk into rooms hoping they'll accept you. You walk in and make them question their own worth. Because power doesn't scream. It doesn't beg. It doesn't need validation. It just is. You ever notice how quiet real strength is? Not because it's passive, but because it's focused. It doesn't waste time explaining. It doesn't care about applause. It moves in silence and hits like thunder. That's the energy you carry now. You're not here to be understood. You're here to be felt. They will feel your absence before they ever appreciate your presence. And by then, you'll already be gone. Because power doesn't wait. Power doesn't chase. Power chooses. So choose yourself, finally, fully, unapologetically. You don't owe anyone the version of you that died in the fire. You owe the world the version that walked out of it. The one with scars for armor. The one who stopped fearing failure. The one who no longer asks for a seat at the table, but builds their own. And if they say you've changed, tell them, I didn't change. I returned to the version of me that you tried to kill. And I brought back reinforcements. Your power isn't something to be tamed. It's something to be embraced. And the moment you stop hiding it, the moment you stop apologizing for the fire in your blood, that's the moment you become unforgettable. Because people don't remember those who fit in. They remember the ones who stood up, who spoke out, who refused to stay quiet. So if they're afraid of your power now, let them be. Because fear is respect in disguise. And you've earned that fear. Not because you're cruel, but because you survived when they swore you wouldn't. And now, you wear your pain like a crown. A symbol of everything they failed to break. So no, you're not the victim. Not anymore. You are the storm. You are the reckoning. You are the monster they created. But the warrior you chose to become. Own it. Because your power isn't a mistake. It's the answer. Look in the mirror. Go ahead. Really look, not just at the skin, not just at the face you've shown the world. Look deeper, into the eyes, into the fire hiding behind the exhaustion, into the storm that's been waiting for someone, anyone, to see it. That reflection, it's not weak, it's not broken, it's not beyond saving. It's real, raw, flawed. Still standing. And that means something. Because you've been through hell. You've been lied to, left behind, broken down, pushed aside. Somehow you're still here. You've got scars. Good. Those scars, they're not signs of weakness. They're proof you healed. You were hurt, but you didn't stay hurt. You were lost, but you didn't stay lost. You were betrayed, but you didn't let it define you. And now you get to decide who that person in the mirror becomes next. Not based on what they did to you, not based on what you lost, but based on what you survived. You've carried the weight of the world on your shoulders. But here's the question that matters now. When's the last time you gave yourself credit for carrying it? When's the last time you looked in that mirror and said, damn, I made it through what was meant to kill me? When's the last time you stopped running from your reflection? Started respecting it? Because this moment right here, this pause, this silence, it's not weakness. It's clarity. It's the moment you stop pretending. The moment you stop hiding behind who you used to be. The moment you realize you're not your past. You're not your pain. You're not their opinion of you. You are what came after. The rebuild, the rage, the resilience. So the next time you stand in front of that mirror, ask yourself, am I still trying to become who they wanted me to be? Or am I finally becoming who I was meant to be? Because one will keep you imprisoned, the other will set you free. You choose. This is where you stop waiting and start becoming. There's a moment in everyone's life when the pain becomes too loud to ignore. Not just the pain of what happened, but the pain of staying the same. You feel it, don't you? That pull in your chest. That quiet scream in your gut that says, I can't keep living like this. That's not weakness. That's the beginning. The beginning of something raw, something real, something dangerous. See, people think the turning point is some grand explosion, some Hollywood scene with fireworks and slow motion glory. Number, it's quieter than that. It's that night you sat alone in the dark and whispered, I'm done. Done pretending, done pleasing, done playing small. It's that second you stopped hoping they'd come back and started walking your own path. That moment you finally said, if I have to walk through fire alone, so be it. I'd rather burn in truth than suffocate in their comfort. Because here's the truth nobody tells you. No one's coming to save you. Not the ones who broke you. Not the ones who left. Not the ones who watched you fall and said, that's not my problem. And the moment you accept that, it hurts. But it also frees you. Because now, you stop waiting. You stop waiting for apologies that'll never come. For validation that was never meant for you. For closure from people who never cared about the damage they left behind. You stop waiting. And you start taking. You take back your time. You take back your voice. You take back your power. And suddenly, you're not a victim anymore. You're not a sad story. You're not a cautionary tale. You're a threat. You become the very thing they tried to keep you from becoming. Focused, fearless, unstoppable. You walk differently. You speak differently. You no longer ask, you declare. Because once you realize you survived the storm, you stop fearing the rain. Let that sink in. You were made to rise. Not when it was easy, not when it was popular, but especially when everything told you to stay down. And you know what's wild? The same people who doubted you will be the first ones to say, I always knew you'd make it. But you'll remember. You'll remember who helped and who disappeared. You'll remember who clapped and who laughed. You'll remember who saw your worth when even you forgot it. And that memory, it won't make you bitter. It'll make you bulletproof. Because this is the turning point, the pivot, the part of the story where the victim becomes the villain in their narrative and the hero in your own. No more shrinking, no more waiting, no more asking for permission to breathe. From this point on, you own your story, you own your scars, you own your evolution. You don't need anyone to clap for you. You'll clap for yourself. With calloused hands and blood in your mouth if you have to. Because this isn't about revenge anymore. It's about rebirth. So choose now. Choose to rise. Choose to become something they can't define. Choose to never be put in a box again. This is your turning point. Don't waste it. This isn't motivation, it's resurrection. You want to know what real power looks like? It's not loud, it's not flashy, it's not someone screaming from a podium or flexing on a stage. Real power is silent, steady, unshakable. It lives in the people who've been crushed and got back up anyway. The ones who've been abandoned, betrayed, broken, and still kept moving. That's you, isn't it? You've been lied to, used, discarded. You've been told you weren't good enough. You've been told to stay quiet, stay in your place, stay small. But here you are, still breathing, still standing, still burning. And that burn inside you, that's the fire they couldn't kill. That's the hunger they didn't expect to survive. See, pain has a funny way of creating purpose. What once made you feel like a victim now fuels your rise. Because eventually you get tired of waiting to be rescued. You stop looking for someone to fix you. You stop hoping someone will see your worth. And you decide, I'll become the storm. You build yourself in the silence. While they sleep, you rise. While they mock, you prepare. While they forget you, you rebuild you. Every sleepless night, fuel. Every doubt you swallowed, fuel. Every tear you wiped alone, fuel. You're not the same anymore. You've stopped bleeding for people who wouldn't flinch for you. You've stopped defending your softness to those who only speak in knives. You've stopped hiding your power just to make others comfortable. Because now, you understand. Your darkness isn't a flaw, it's a weapon. You were never just the wounded. You were the warrior in disguise. It just took time. Pain has to strip you down. It has to burn away everything fake, everything soft, everything that was never really yours. Only then can you see the truth. You were the fire all along. Not the victim, not the afterthought, not the failure. You were the threat they never saw coming. And now you don't chase people. You don't explain yourself. You don't beg to be seen. You command attention without saying a word. You walk in silence, but your presence is loud, because people can feel it. That heat. That intensity, that refusal to die quietly. They don't know what you've been through, but they can sense the storm in your bones. And that scares them. Good. Let them feel it. Let them feel what it's like to be in the presence of someone who rose from the ashes and built a throne from what tried to kill them. You're not just surviving anymore. You're building a mindset, a future, a legacy. Brick by brick, scar by scar, loss by loss. This is the part they'll never understand. That your strength doesn't come from winning. It comes from not giving up when you had every reason to. It comes from fighting battles no one saw. From burying people you thought would stay. From picking up the pieces of yourself, alone. And now you don't just carry fire. You are the fire. And fire does one thing well. It consumes. It devours the past, burns down the lies, melts away the masks. Until what's left is you. Pure, unfiltered. Unapologetic. They'll say you changed. They'll say you're different. They'll say you've become cold, hard, distant. Let them. Because they never knew the version of you that suffered in silence. They never saw the nights you broke down and built yourself again, piece by bleeding piece. They only see the fire now. They only see the monster you had to become. To protect the soul no one else bothered to defend. So you walk with that fire. Everywhere. every day, unapologetically. Because it's not anger anymore. It's not revenge. It's fuel. The fire within you isn't here to destroy others. It's here to rebuild you. To keep you moving when no one believes. To keep you focused when the world distracts. To keep you dangerous when life tries to put you back in a cage. And when they ask, what happened to you? Smile. Tell them, I stopped waiting to be saved. I started saving myself. This is not a comeback. This is your arrival. You're not just surviving anymore. You've outgrown that phase. You're not just fighting to breathe. You're breathing fire. You've stopped living in defense mode. You've stopped apologizing for your volume, your truth, your scars. Now, you rise. And rising doesn't mean pretending everything's okay. It means refusing to let the past define you. It means building strength on top of every breakdown. Let me be clear. Rising above doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean forgiving those who aren't sorry. It doesn't mean pretending like the pain didn't happen. It means choosing to not stay there. It means using the betrayal as bricks, the rejection as fuel, the silence as space to evolve. You rise by standing on everything they tried to bury you with. They threw dirt on you, hoping to end you. But they didn't know you were a seed. Now you're growing through concrete, and there's no stopping you. Let's rewind for a second. They doubted you, didn't they? They said you'd never make it. They whispered behind your back. They laughed when you tried. They ignored you when you needed them most. But now, they're watching. Quiet. Confused. Shaken. Because you were supposed to stay broken. You were supposed to fold. You were supposed to disappear. But instead, you got louder, sharper, stronger. You became the version of yourself they never imagined. And here's the best part. You didn't rise because of them. You rose in spite of them. They thought their absence would end you. But their absence became your motivation. Their disrespect became your redirection. Their silence became the perfect environment for your transformation. You've tasted what it feels like to be at rock bottom. And now you know there's nothing more dangerous than someone who's had to rebuild everything. Because when you rise from nothing, you don't fear losing anything. You've already been through the fire. You've already been torn apart. You've already faced nights where you questioned your own existence. And you chose to keep going. That's what makes you different. Most people wait for permission. You took it. Most people wait to be noticed. You walked in and made them notice. You didn't play the victim. You became the storm. And that's what rising above truly is. It's not about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. It's about choosing to believe in the person you're becoming, even when no one else does. Because the truth is, you didn't come this far to be liked. You came this far to be free. And freedom has a price. You'll lose people. You'll outgrow places. You'll let go of versions of yourself that once felt like home. It hurts, but it's necessary. Because you can't rise while holding on to what weighs you down. So let it go. Let go of the guilt. Let go of the what-ifs. Let go of the fantasy that they'll finally come around and understand your worth. They won't, and that's okay. Because you no longer need their applause. You're building your own stage. You're writing your own script. And this time, you're the main character. No more side roles. No more background noise. No more playing small just to make others feel big. You've outgrown that. And now, you rise like smoke from every bridge that had to burn. You rise like thunder that no longer whispers. You rise with a silence that commands respect. They thought you'd become bitter, but you became better. They thought you'd seek revenge, but you chose rebirth. They thought you'd break, but you bent and returned as steel. You are no longer chained to who you were. You are no longer defined by who they said you'd be. You are no longer surviving. You are rising. And the view from here, it's different. It's clear. It's quiet. But powerful. Because up here, above the noise, the betrayal, the expectations, you finally realize you were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out. You were never meant to be tame. You were meant to lead the pack. So walk like the ground owes you answers. Speak like your voice can crack mountains. Live like your scars are sacred, because they are. You've earned every inch of this rise. You paid for it with pain, loss, and loneliness. And now it's time to own it. You're no longer becoming. You are. You've bled. You've burned. You've buried versions of yourself no one even knew existed. And now, you stand in the aftermath. Not as a victim. Not as someone looking for closure. But as something new. You didn't just survive the pain. You used it. You didn't just go through hell. You built a home there. Learned to breathe fire. Learned to walk with shadows that used to haunt you. And now they call you heartless. Number. You've just stopped handing your heart to people who don't know how to hold it. They say you've become cold. Number. You've just learned that warmth should be earned, not expected. Because the version of you that used to chase love, that used to apologize for existing too loudly, that used to bend until you broke, gone, dead and buried, replaced by someone who no longer asks for permission, someone who no longer seeks validation, someone who knows their worth and dares the world to challenge it. You're not healing anymore. You are healed and armed. You don't fear rejection. You expect it. Because the higher you rise, the more people want to drag you back down. Let them try. They'll choke on your dust. This is what it means to own your transformation. You stop explaining yourself. You stop dimming your light. You stop carrying guilt for the way you had to save your own life. You embrace the monster they made you become, not out of spite, but because that monster is what survived. That monster is what kept going when the good version of you was left for dead. Now that monster, he doesn't apologize. He builds, he protects, he dominates. Because power, real power, is silent, it's earned, and it doesn't wait for applause. You've become the version of yourself they said was too much. And now, you wear it like a crown, unapologetic, unchained, unstoppable. This is where you decide who you really are. Right now, you stand at the edge. Behind you, everything they did, everything they said, everything that broke you, shaped you, and nearly buried you. Ahead, unknown, unforgiving, but yours. And you've got two options. Go back, shrink, apologize, keep pretending, fit their mold, swallow your fire again. Or step forward, own everything, the rage, the pain, the power. Be the version of you they tried to silence. Live loud, live real, live dangerous. You don't get to rise and stay comfortable. You don't get to evolve and still fit in. You either own the fire, or let it die inside you. So choose. Go back to the empty comfort of being accepted by people who never saw you, or walk into the storm as the one they'll never forget. This is your moment. This is the break in the story, where everything splits, and who you become starts right now. This is not motivation. This is a command. Enough waiting, enough overthinking, enough explaining, enough begging the world to see your worth. They didn't see it. Good. Let them sit in silence while you become everything they said you'd never be. You don't need more advice. You don't need more quotes. You don't need more time. You need to move. Now, not tomorrow. Not when the time is right. Now, because the truth is brutal, but clear, no one is coming to save you. No one is going to give you permission. No one is going to hand you the life you deserve. You want it? Take it. Rip it from the hands of doubt. Steal it back from the ones who told you to stay quiet. Build it from the ground up with your bare hands and your broken past. And when they ask, who do you think you are? You say, I am the consequence. I am the reckoning. I am the storm you laughed at, and now you run from. This is the part where you stop hesitating. You wake up earlier. You train harder. You think sharper. You speak louder. You move like your life depends on it, because it does. This is your war zone now. Your mind, your past, your future. You've been sharpening your blade in the dark. Now it's time to use it. Every second you wait is a second wasted. Every doubt you entertain is fuel for the people hoping you fail. Every delay is a funeral for your potential. So rise. Today. This hour. This second. Not as the person they remember, but as the version they'll never recover from. This is your time. This is your life. This is your legacy. Take it. This isn't just your rise. It's your legacy. One day, they'll speak your name. And it won't be with pity. It won't be with doubt. It won't be with that smug grin they wore when they thought you'd never make it. They'll speak your name with respect, with fear, with awe. Because you didn't just survive. You transformed. You didn't take their cruelty and crumble. You took it and built an empire. You didn't let the pain end you. You let it rewrite you into something untouchable. Now they stare, wide-eyed, watching the legend unfold in real time. The monster they mocked is now the myth they whisper about behind closed doors. Because you didn't break, you evolved. And they know it. They know they lost their grip on you. They know they don't have access anymore. They know the version of you they thought they could toy with doesn't exist. What exists now is power, is fire, is a name they'll never forget. You've become the story, the lesson, the ghost in their rearview mirror that reminds them what happens when you bet against the wrong soul. And no matter how much they pretend, no matter how many lies they tell to protect their pride, they'll remember the silence you gave them, the storm you walked through, the way you rose without needing them. And now you walk like royalty, not because the world gave you a crown, but because you forged one in the dark. So let them watch, let them whisper, let them wonder how you became the legend they swore you'd never be. And while they're stuck in the past, you're out here rewriting the future. One move, one scar, one undeniable truth at a time. You are not the same. You are not broken. You are reborn. And if they can't handle that, tell them to look away. Because this story doesn't end with regret. It ends with revenge, redemption, and rule. You've earned it. You've become it. The legend. The reckoning. The one they never saw coming. But will never forget. If this hit you like it was meant to, don't just watch. Smash that subscribe button. Hit the bell icon so you never miss another storm like this. Like, share, and pass it to someone else who needs to rise. This isn't just a video. This is your warning shot to the world. You've arrived. And now, they better brace for impact.